Today, I'm speaking to a guy that I actually see as a legend in my mind. He's a legend of specific area of industry, which is for designing modern musical instruments. And without trying to introduce you in any particular special way, please just tell us, Simone, who are you and what you do?
My name is Simone Capitani. I am an Italian designer. I started my career as an electronic engineer. Then I was fascinated by the possibility of making digital. So I was more interested of thinking about new solutions in terms of user experience. So gradually I started to learn more and more about design thinking and also design principles. Gradually changed my my perspective and my career into this field. The biggest change in my career was when I decided to move to London, when I decided to merge the passion that I always had for music with my job. So I wanted to apply the user experience principle in design thinking to build new digital products and design new musical instruments. So that was the first step that made me deciding to make the first move. So that was the idea. Then I worked more and more in the music industry, and at Raleigh in London, we worked together and we designed different products, more on software. But later, I had the chance also to work more and more on the hardware and software integration, and I designed also user interface products. And it was interesting to think about the user experience across a physical panel that is directly related to a digital screen that can do different things. So it was a very nice experience. Then in terms of design, I moved to another challenge. I recently, more than 1 year ago, I joined audio modeling as a partner. Audio modeling is a company that makes incredible acoustic virtual instruments that can really replicate in a very accurate way the sound of acoustic instruments like saxophone, trumpets, violins. I joined the team also with an idea of another product in the music that is Camelot, that is a live performance system that is capable to connect hardware and software instruments all together to in same experience. That's it. I tried to make it short, but
working with you on specifically, we were working on Equator software at Raleigh together and really shaped the early phases of that and even some of the later phases of it. Yeah, that was a very, very interesting project, and also certainly exposed me to these ultra interactive interfaces and software that makes sound, moves a lot. It's like all the expressions of UI are necessary in music software. But tell us a little bit about what is the purpose of audio modeling as a company and the products that it creates.
The purpose of audio modeling is delivering instruments that are real-time playable. So with the with the virtual instruments, we are to play samples the musician has recorded for you. So you press key, and then there is the sound of a violin doing na, or doing an articulation, ta, 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 ta. But it's a recording. We are actually playing back something that is recorded by somebody else. With the audio modeling, we make modeled instruments, and those modeled instruments can generate the sound in real time, depending on the expression that depending on your musical idea. So when you use an expression pedal, you can start playing soft and then make the saxophone playing more and more louder. And it's not just a matter of volume, but changes the format, changes the timbre of the instruments when you play harder on a real saxophone. That it is very easy also to understand that those instruments are very powerful with the Rolly keyboard as well, because when you press more on the keyboard surface, you get a different tone and sound. So the purpose of audio modeling, to answer your question, is to providing the experience of the real acoustic instruments and to provide to the musician the possibility to express themselves and create their musical idea and be able to communicate, because we have also composers that are using the virtual instruments to communicate to the real musician how to record that piece of music. So also it is good, we are not stealing the job to musician, but we created a medium to connect the composer to the session musician.
Fantastic. So talk to me a little bit about the people then, because when we were working with Rolly, we realized that there's all sorts of different users and different types of musicians, right? That sort of prefer certain types of instruments, tools, and all that kind of stuff. Who are the people that are perfect customer and user of audio modeling tools?
The people that are using and our target user are composers, are live performers, are producers. So anyone that makes music but has the need to be expressive in their composition, in their recordings, or in their live show. We have created, better than me, different personas, and we have identified the key elements, the top feature of these personas. And in terms of composers, the most important thing is the possibility to express themselves and to write and play back exactly the musical idea that the composer has in mind. In terms of live performers, the live performers needs is to be able to recreate the sound of an acoustic instruments on stage when there is no possibility to hire or to get the real musician perform a saxophone or violin, but in a very effective way, because sometimes I am an amateur keyboard player, but I had this problem as well in the past. So please, with the band, play for us a saxophone solo to make this score. And if you don't have a good real saxophone sound, it will be funny or ridiculous to perform a fake plastic saxophone sound. But with our products, with Swam, you can make it really credible, realistic. That in other words, I think that the people that really needs our product, people that wants to have the most tangible and realistic experience with musical instruments.
How does the system then differ from, let's say, other similar types of products? Are you guys using some specific special algorithm, or because one of the things I've learned at Rolly is that there's so many different ways in which sound can be made out of a computer. It's quite crazy. So what is the way in which this system works?
Well, the system in Swan Instrument is unique. We have a proprietary technology that has been created by the mind of our CEO Stefano Lucato, that was capable to create physical models of those instruments. So basically, he studied the physics, the shapes of each acoustic instrument, and translate translated the physics of the instruments in math, and but also uh, mm, um, I can do, let's say, there are previous technology that are using the same approach of physical modeling. We did not invented, Stefano did not invented the physical modeling, but Stefano, he is very talented and creative, that can find the parameter that makes the difference in sound, because for somebody that works only with math, every equation could be the same, could have the same weight. But if you find in models the variables or the aspects that are most important from the human ear, you can reduce the scope that could otherwise so big, because it's like, let's think about the weather forecast. The weather forecast is a model that predicts the weather for tomorrow, for the day after, and it is based on a model of a complex system. Sometimes that model doesn't work because the conditions are so different from what was expected by the model. But if the model is able to predict the most common condition, it will work perfectly. That happens in the same thing with the physical modeling of the instruments. If you find the right point to work and to put your the biggest effort, you will get great results. And that was the most important contribution that Stefano made. Also, Stefano had the chance with another great and talented guy, that is Emanuele Paravicini, that is another engineer like me, that was capable to find also very interesting technical solution to overcome some challenges, to address some issues, some challenges. In terms of system, the last, if we would like to mention a bit of Camelot. Camelot is totally different from Swan because it's not an instrument, it is like a performance tool. And the difference of Camelot is the user experience. Many other software for live performance has been designed like a mixer with a mixer layout, or making a virtual cable connection. Camelot has a different approach that is oriented to the musician perspective. I am proud of that, because many people that are joining the Camelot ecosystem are finding it super quick to learn. When for a designer a product is fast to learn, people are happy about that. It's it's a very rewarding, I could tell.
Awesome. Yeah, it's funny how usability and user experience design doesn't just affect the customers, but affects the employees in the company. And the more employees are able to comprehend what's being done, the more able they are actually to take part in the whole process of creativity and making. So, how do you approach innovation then at audio modeling? And is there a particular thing that you've learned in terms of innovation that you can share?
I can tell that there are could say it's three different aspects we could analyze. One aspect was that if we start from a aspect, I would say that the biggest innovation it is is not an innovation, but is working with people. So recruiting people that that you can see that are open-minded and that really wants to be on the same page with you and the other people on the team about the product vision. They share the same vision about the user experience and the workflow, the project workflow. I think that the skills are important, but the first thing that I'm looking for in a team member is this possibility. So if somebody wants really to share your vision and your approach to work, that was the first thing that is in innovation, because I can tell that it's innovation, because in many other companies you make interviews checking the skills, the CV. I think that those skills could be important, but there are in your career you can learn thousands of things, but if you're not open to learn, or if you are not open to listen and to share and communicate with the other team and people, you will not be able to do anything in that company. So I would say that this is the innovation that I like to bring in the company in general aspect. The second aspect is about designing products. One is with Camelot, we introduced a new UX language with an innovative product. But that is still, this is a challenge, because we are building something really new that did not exist before. I like that we could have this chance at audio modeling to create something very different from other products. But the third aspect of innovation is the way that we have redesigned the new products based on Swarm technology. So in that case, we had a different challenge, because with Camelot, if you build product, you have a white paper in front of you, and you have a challenge of designing something that is new. But if you take our Swarm products, our instruments that have been in the market for almost 10 years, and they are successful products, you have the challenge to improve the experience, but make happy also the people that are used to the previous version. So you need to bring also new people and attract new people with a new release, but also you don't have to lose the loyal people that are still happy with what they have. They still love you for that. So that was another difficult challenge. I think that we find the right balance between innovation and loyalty and link to the past and the previous version. And also I can tell that my partners, Lele and Stefano, I can tell that are very open-minded, because also they trusted me, that we worked together on this project. Consider that I joined them to touch and work on their baby. So something that they have designed together and put in the market for 10 years. Think about the fight that could happen in their brain. They say, I'm doing the right thing, because changing is always a risk. I can tell that this is really important for a company to be able to innovate, because you need to have the open mind to accept the innovation, because the innovation is always a risk. It's not only a good chance.
And of course, not innovating is the biggest risk.
Yeah, but I know that there are companies that are more or less in the same level of sales without doing nothing. So it's also always difficult to have a good point someone that I'm selling this product for 20 years. Who are you to tell me how to improve that product? So it's a
Yeah.
challenge,
Totally,
as a designer.
totally, totally. And so, talking about products, then, what do you see as the main product of the company? Is it, do you think of the actual virtual instruments and the toolkit as the product, or are you seeing the experience in the whole suite, or are you even thinking of the company as the product? How are you seeing this?
Well, we are a company that makes products. So we are doing also some partnership with other companies if they need consultancy, or we are integrating our products in other products. Our sounds are integrated in Rolling Noise, are also integrated in GeoShred instruments that has been launched 1 week ago. But I would say yes, that the products are our instruments and our business. But we are working to extend our products more into an ecosystem of products. With Camelot, that is also a virtual host, to play and our instruments. Will be new releases of other tools or products to make that more and more an ecosystem.
Awesome. And then how does the money work, or what have you learned, if anything, about money with regards to music companies?
Well, it's a very wide topic. I would say that in general, selling is difficult, very tough, because as a user experience designer, I am also in charge, because we are a small company. So we need to keep also attention to the budget. Every company should, but when you are small, it is also more important. I am also directing the digital marketing campaigns, because also there's a connection between the user needs and what they are willing to pay. I can tell that the sale process is very, very difficult. You have it's difficult to make money. In talking about money in the music industry, the most important thing to consider is that the music industry is not a consumer market, is a niche, or the English
Yeah, niche.
niche. Yeah, okay, niche. Because there are not millions of users in this market. There are different dynamics. So people are more passionate. So in the moment they fell in love, they fall in love with your products, they can really be very loyal. But it's also a market of people that are used to work in some way. They have music taste. The music they listen, the music genre they play can influence also the tools and the instruments that they buy. So it's very difficult to make money, because you have to really try to find the right spot and to make the right communication, and and then attract people to your website or to your products. I can tell that recently I have learned a lot about digital marketing, the possibility that the social networks and the communication now give you a lot of options. But we should always keep in mind of the people that are listening to you or watching you from a phone, scrolling for a phone, how to get their attention. And it's a daily work to make new contents, to find the right way to tell that your products are the best. But of course, you can tell only if you think and it's sure that your product are the best. So
Yeah, and I think this is an important thing for, we certainly learned this in a design company project, and now it's become an ecosystem of book, philosophy, methodology, consultancy, software, podcast, all these kind of things. It's like we don't feel comfortable promoting products and asking for money for products that we don't feel that are like absolutely perfectly done. And that's where design plays an absolutely essential role. And that's why we were able to get Rolly to become partners worldwide with Apple. That didn't just happen by coincidence. None of this stuff happens by coincidence. It's very much attention to every pixel of design and questioning. You and I have had critical conversations between each other. It's like, why that there? Why this? How about doing this? How about all sorts of different permutations and combinations of possibilities to actually lock in on the best thing? So how do you see the growth of audio modeling company and maybe like the digital music industry on the whole going forward?
Well, for the digital music industry, I think that actually it's tough to make uh, uh, an estimation, because during this pandemic moment, I can tell that everything has changed. So the world has changed. Pure digital companies could have an advantage, because they can easily change. If you make hardware, time to market is longer. If you make software, there are more chances to change and to quickly reschedule or change plans, if you are good enough, or if you're also lucky to guess the right strategy. So I think that there's a good possibility for audio modeling and the small companies that are fast in reorganizing to create new products and services that can be more attractive in a different world that is changing. So I would say that there is the possibility of companies that could have some troubles because of this. We are changing the rule of the live performances, of the way people interact each other. So that's I think that there is a challenge. But I can tell that I am also we are partner with Zoom. Japanese company are making cameras, mixers, not the Zoom of the video streaming. And they had a lot of requests of video cameras, and they had a huge amount of orders right now. So people are changing the way they are working, and they are making music. So the the more each company can adapt and change plans, the more they can succeed, I think.
Yeah, and it's a strange thing when I was designing this designed company sort of model here, I realized that there is a sort of a cross impact of like innovation, impacts on growth and systems, impact on money and people,
Mhm.
impact on products and so on. And it all in perfect world, it all happens through a common purpose
Yeah.
that is interconnecting sort of glue of all of that stuff. So, and that's what you're talking about there, is that as if companies and when companies are able to innovate to fit into the new context, they get growth. And if they don't innovate, they don't get growth. It's very simple like that. And so, Simone, I really thank you so much for speaking to me. It's absolute pleasure to see you again and know that you're thriving. It's like I've learned so much from working with you, and I've got so much respect for you as a musician, as a maker, as a UX designer, as a human being. It's like you're just absolute sweetest guy. And so
Thank you
we'll
very
link
much.
to audio. Um, the company will link to in the notes. And is there anything else that you would like to share, either about audio modeling or sort of things that you've learned about especially impact of design on businesses?
Well, I think the most important thing is having a team and an environment that allows everyone to express themselves. So we are making expressing instruments to let the music express themselves, but I would say that if everyone can be expressive in terms of coding, of designing, of putting ideas, the company can succeed. If everyone cannot tell their ideas or there are frictions, it will be impossible. So I can tell that here at Audio Modeling, we found the magic. We are in the magic moment that everything is happening in that way, and I'm really proud of that, and I'm lucky to be part of that.
Awesome. It's absolutely wonderful to know that you are thriving in the most difficult year in history of my experience of working in business. And you're thriving in an industry that's otherwise also very difficult in the best of years, right? So that's superb to hear. And thank you very much for speaking to me.
Thank you.